It's time once again to rejoin the pack. What are we want to call the Chat Nation?
I don't like that at all.
It's terrible, right? What should we call it?
It makes my nose wrinkle.
It's terrible.
The chatosphere.
That's terrible
too. That's terrible too, because it makes me think of the manosphere.
Lots of chatting going on in the manosphere at all times. Well, whatever we call it, maybe by the end of this episode, we will call it something. You've entered it. It's Colette and Matt have entered the chat. It's a weekly conversation about video games, and we're back after some scheduling challenges to bring you another week of video game convos and chitter chatter. My name is Matt Silverman, joined as always by Colette Bennett, and you have some news, some breaking. Do I have it? Yes, breaking news that lots of people already know who listen to this program.
They did already. They do already know. Please,
some of them know. You have a brand new job, and I don't want to tell you how to live your life. Okay, this is a friend telling you friend to friend. Okay, I understand that your new job is at GameStop, and I want to tell you, like, they're not doing great. They're closing like all the time. It's all Funko Pops now, and I'm just like, look. If you got to pay the bills, I get it. But like, just be careful out there, okay?
Well, luckily you're wrong. Although sometimes, because I am a woman of middle age, I will go to say where I actually work and I will accidentally say GameStop. I mean, I'm sorry, GameSpot.
Sure.
And it's interesting because more people know GameStop, of course, and will be like, "Oh yeah, GameStop," and then they're like, "Wait, what's GameSpot?" Because
that's where Grandma goes to buy Mario.
Right,
but if GameSpot is for people who actually read.
If you're not a video game nerd that's been around for 20 plus years, you don't know that GameSpot is an OG video game website where I now work.
Yay! What do I have on the board here? There it is. Woo!
Extra applause. It's both great and weird because I got signed into my Slack and all that stuff that, us remote people live on, and it was a weird feeling. I wish I had the right words, and as a writer I should, but I don't, of like the feeling of zipping together like your hobby life. So like,
yes.
This podcast, our Discord, my game playing time, of like having that kind of zip into your job. And then
which is super dangerous. Let me tell you, you don't necessarily want all the things you love to be tied up in your salary, your paycheck.
You don't. And
that's a larger discussion.
I learned that the hard way when I was in games the first time, because I thought, oh my God, I'm working in games. This is so cool. And like any job, you have to do things you maybe, if you're lucky, you like, and then things you don't like.
Yeah.
And so that was hard because it kind of skewed my love of games as just a thing that I got to do as a hobby.
Right.
I work in the commerce side of GameSpot, which is, where you buy all the cool stuff. But also, I think that for me, commerce has been specifically very strategic. And so I feel like it's a bit different than, oh shit, we have to write about, GTA Online's 420 event or something like that, which did happen today.
That's a real thing. Cool.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Right. We're coming up on 420. What are your plans?
I mean, it's not really a celebration when you periodically consume edibles just for fun, but at any rate, not going out in the street to scream about it. That's all I can say about that. But yeah, so it's a bit different, but it is extremely surreal. Yeah. And also, dear listeners, as I was telling Matt in Discord before we started the podcast, Fandom, who is the company that owns GameSpot, and also they own Metacritic and TV Guide and all these
Right.
places. They also own Fanatical, which was really cool because I was informed on like
really?
and I was informed on like day 1 or 2, like get a big fat discount at Fanatical, and I was like, what?
Oh, all right, we'll talk later. Fanatical, was that part of like fandom.com that spun out, or was it an acquisition?
They acquired it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know the history of that. Yeah.
They acquired it, and we write on the commerce side, we write about the deals quite a bit there, obviously, because it's our product.
Okay. And look, we don't have to go too far into shop talk, but back in the day when you and I worked adjacent to commerce, and you were fully in it. But I remember talking maybe with you and also with our colleagues there, being like, there are so many ways we could recommend games and round up like great categories and listicles of games that are truly like, no, you should play this and check it out. It's on sale. But we didn't have a way to create affiliate revenue from that, because Steam, for example, to my knowledge, unless things have changed, you tell me, they do not offer affiliate programs the way Amazon and others do. But if you're going through bundle sites, key sites like Humble or Fanatical, then that's a different conversation. And now you can really do that. That's really cool.
It is. And it is interesting because, like, of course you can still buy physical copies of games, but most people don't. Most people are buying digital games. But they are very interested in bundles, and and because of those bundles, they are monetizable through affiliate networks. So that is kind of cool. But to bounce back just a tiny bit, one thing that I thought was so cool, anybody who has ever had a new job, especially if you've ever worked in media, that your first week of work is kind of this hailstorm of, kind of trying to be, inducted into, here are 40 Google Docs, and here's all of our, here's our Asana, or here's our Trello, or whatever. And you're trying to memorize and learn all these systems, and it's very overwhelming. And I know that, and because I've had a few media jobs. And so I was like, okay, let me kind of prepare myself. So I purposely kind of emptied out my week after work plans. I didn't make any plans this weekend. I was like, I'm going to just get as much rest. I'm going to go to bed early, all that stuff as I can, because I know that it is a lot, right?
Yeah.
And so when I had my like HR chat in the beginning, kind of learning the ways of the company, first of all, I was kind of bowled over by all the benefits I get aside from what you would expect a typical benefits package to be. They're really above and beyond. They offer paternity leave, which I find always so impressive because so many places don't offer paternity leave. Not that I'm planning on. I don't know
I don't know what the policy, what the industry standards are these days. But my hope would be that it would be like parental leave. It does not matter if you birthed the baby or adopted the baby, or
that's what I think.
Whatever. If you are a parent if you are a guardian of this child, you get to take time off.
Yeah,
the end.
I agree. But one thing I have absolutely never experienced at any company is time baked specifically on purpose into my first week to, maybe have a meeting where I get to see 5 or 6 new docs and I hear some new processes, and then have a couple of hours blocked into the schedule that are, this is time for you to absorb. And I was like,
I love this so much.
I was like, what? Like, and they did really like press in my early meetings, like, we really care about mental health. We want you to take sick days. We want you to take vacation days. We want you to let us know if you need mental health days. And I was like, oh, okay. And all that is really nice. And yeah, it's it's wild, and lovely, but a lot to get used to after freelancing for a year.
Yes.
It's like, whoa. Is this real?
Someday companies will learn that grinding their employees into a pulp and then having to replace them when they quit is more expensive on the balance sheet than giving them time to think and absorb and take time off and breaks and rest. Because
I do not agree with you at all. I think they will continue to grind people to death in certain
they will.
industries.
Oh, for sure. No, I'm saying like, they will do that. I'm saying like clearly we have some companies finally realizing from a dollars and cents point of view that it makes financial sense to let your people breathe. This was a while ago, and I don't remember the exact person who said this, but it was another show I was producing for a client, and someone was like, it's like a business show, but they said something like, thinking is a valid business. It's like valid business time spent or something. And we were sitting there in the interview being like, wow, it's a good soundbite, because it's just like the ideas that come out of your team are the things that will build the next phase of your whatever.
Yeah,
but if
getting to
you're
have that
literally
downtime.
It's just meeting and documents and next thing and next thing and next thing, then you just don't have time to be creative. But like not time, but mental energy, like you were saying earlier, or at least to me.
And like they took a very different approach last year and the year before with this side of the business, and have since decided that they're going to kind of raise and rebuild. And so I am coming in at a time when that is at the beginning of happening. So I get to participate in a lot of the input on what I think, how things should be rebuilt, or what we should be doing that we're not doing. And so that's also refreshing and nice. So it's
because if they were an advertising business for the last 10 years, then they do need to then reconfigure. Everyone needs to reconfigure whatever is next. And commerce is huge in there, and whatever else that might be,
Yeah, I have my first connect with the SEO folks that work for us next week. And I'm like, boy, I have got so many questions for you guys. Like, how the fuck do you navigate SEO in like the age of like AI? And I think if they are smart and honest, they will say, we are figuring it out. We don't really know. And it's kicking our butts. But yeah, really interesting week, because really nice to come to a job and just feel like no masking whatsoever is required. Like, hello,
that's nice.
I am a giant nerd, and like, I log into all my stuff, and everyone's just talking about games that you or I or the Discord would talk about, and it's like, well, that's cool.
That's cool.
But it is also very surreal, and I think I have a little bit of culture shock going from, one completely different type of business to another.
You're like 2 or 3 days in, right? Did you start Monday?
Today's my fourth day. Yeah,
fourth day.
My
yeah,
fourth
so
day.
Like
so new, so insanely new. So, just trying to kind of take it one day at a time and let it all permeate. But I am happy, and still a little like, I can't believe this is happening to me.
If you're watching, if you're only listening to the audio version, you should just picture Colette's face being like, it's like really squinched up thinking about it. And she's like, I am happy. I'm happy, as she's like quizzically wondering if that is a true statement. But I get it.
I think most humans who have experienced some life will tell you that when you go through a big shift and change, and it's like from negative to positive, it doesn't mean that you're just like, yay, everything's fixed. A part of you is
you're like, what's the catch? What's the catch?
Yeah, that's part of it, I guess. But, and I mean, look, they're probably, maybe there is a catch, but at any rate, it is something that I will live my way into until it becomes normal, and that's fine. So
if you're a human who has experienced any life,
that's
great. All right, get that t-shirt in the shop next week.
If only we could just like make the t-shirts with like all of the weird quotes we've said. I swear.
I mean, I
wear them everywhere.
I think about this, and I'm working on some of that stuff for other stuff. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's talk about some video games.
Actually, before I talk about any game, I just want to briefly say that this, maybe it was late last week or early this week, the Resident Evil hat tip game, Whisper Mountain Outbreak, that I talked about playing probably last year, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe very early this year.
It wasn't a full year ago, but it was
a while ago.
In the winter, if I recall. Yeah,
we played with you one night.
It's a great game.
Yeah, it's a great game. We played with a couple of other Discord friends, And then we got to the end of the content because it's an early access. And we
That's
were
right,
like, oh,
yes.
bummer. We got all the way to the end, but it was so fun. We'll revisit it, right? So we waited a while and they finally pushed a really big update where they did like a lot of overhauls and they put like a true ending on it and they did all this stuff. We're like, great reason to go back in. And every time I play that game, I think about Sky Berkson because it's a heavily Resident Evil inspired
sure.
game.
Mm-hmm.
And since I've been playing Resident Evil games now, like, I thought about it even more. And I was like, oh, we should just like ask him if he wants to play. So he had played it single player, but he had never played it with other people before.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a different deal with other people, in my opinion, because the zombie density gets higher. And the update changed it to where the zombies are much more aggressive and there's a lot more of them. So,
and there's a lot of collaboration in co-op. I think if my memory serves, that you're like, okay, I got this gun, but you take, all right, I can't hold this. You take this. I got ammo over here. Come over here. Yeah.
Yes, there is. So we played a couple nights ago and we had such a blast. And I just wanted to shout that out because it's just a really fun game, man. It's a really fun game, and they made it even more fun. But it is.
Are there more like systems or mechanics, more things to unlock or grind for in the new content? You know what I mean? Or is it just like, hey, here's a new map?
They added new maps. You don't grind for new weapons that I know of, but we also only completed 3 of the levels before we getting killed. So I don't know what might come in the bigger levels.
Right.
The whole list is on, it's on their Steam page, but obviously they've been like getting a lot of feedback via their Discord and then like putting a lot of things into the game.
Yep.
So yeah, but we had such a blast, and I just wanted to call it out. Also, it has a friend pass, which I think I said when I first talked about it. So like you can play it with other people and they don't have to even own it. They just download the friend pass.
Might be the way. That's probably how I played with you. I don't know that I own the game. I probably just downloaded it's not like you said, it's not a demo, but it's you are downloading the game, but you don't own it. Single player.
That's exactly right. So as long as
other owners, which is
the
great.
Host of your game owns it, everybody else can play it.
Yeah, it's
which is nice.
I appreciate that very much. Really nice. It makes me remember. Do you remember this? You would buy a CD-ROM for, your Warcraft or your Diablo or whatever. I don't remember which games had this. Your Commands and Conquers. And it sometimes came with a second CD that was like, hey, give this to your friend. You can't play the campaign, but you can dial up your modems and play together if you've got a buddy.
That never happened to me, probably because I didn't have any friends.
You should consider.
I didn't play games with anybody else until
I get it.
And really, like in my late teens and 20s and stuff, I played RPGs almost exclusively, and we're all single player.
I don't remember which games had this, and I want to be clear, it was very rare, but I do have somehow this conversation is unlocking a memory of me being like, oh, cool, I could share this game with a friend if I cared to. There was a second disc in the package somehow. And I thought that was cool.
Interesting.
And that reminds me of this pass that the friend.
So you paid for one copy of the game, but then interesting. I really want to know who did that.
I would. Yeah, maybe I'll look this up as we go along here.
Yes, please do. That's very interesting to me.
2 points of order. One, we do need to do trivia. I remembered the deck here. Number 2, I said this to Colette before we started recording. The weather is finally good here in New York. I have all of my windows open. So if you're hearing fire trucks, if you're hearing birds, now that the windows are open, it is just birds screaming at us all day, every day. I have a feeder right outside here. So,
I think I might hear. Do I hear?
You're going to hear
tweeting?
Life. You're going to hear life happening.
I hear tweeting. This is the sound, ladies and gentlemen, of Matt not suffering from the cold, from the bitter cold of New York. I hear those birds? I hear little bird burblings.
We'll see if they get processed out in the final. But So if you hear doors opening, I don't know when the kids are necessarily going to be back. Birds, fire trucks, Amazon deliveries, just life is going to just fucking barrel its way in here, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I think it's great. I love the fact that you open the window and enjoy the weather, because I don't know what
It's
it is
very
there.
nice. It's like
84
summer
here.
here. Yeah, it's like 75, which
That's
is
so nice.
feels like the Caribbean Ocean here,
Yes.
given what we've been through last week. So.
I trust me, I get it. I know I've said it on the show before, but as soon as spring weather gets here, like for real, I always feel, well, my seasonal depression stops. And I always feel like the angels are singing. It's
you feel like your body is alive again. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's the best.
All right. So I'm shuffling the deck. The score remains 1-0. You are in the lead because I think, if memory serves, 2 weeks ago, it was something about Tekken, and it was like, which Tekken? And we were both like, I don't know, and we both got it wrong.
Yes, that's
something
correct.
Like that.
That's correct.
So it is 1-0. I am shuffling the deck at random, and I will be pulling a card slowly out, so I do not see the answer. And today's question is, which video game is set at Bullworth Academy? Bullworth, Bullworth Academy. And we're not. If you have a thought, don't say it yet. We're going to lock our answers in.
I have a guess, and I can see the game in my mind, and I cannot remember the name of the game.
Bullworth Academy.
Shit.
The fact that you don't instantly have it negates my assumption that something Academy would be like a Persona thing. Aren't the kids like school kids?
They are, but that's not their.
But that's not it. Yeah, so that's steering me. That is steering me away from like a last ditch guess. Bullworth Academy.
You said it's BOLL?
Bull as in the animal bull, or as in bullshit.
Okay, actually, on second thought, I think even the guess of the game I'm thinking it is that I don't think maybe that's even right either. So I don't know. I can't take a guess.
So you're not guessing at all.
I can't. I don't know anything passing. To guess. Yes.
I will guess. Hogwarts Legacy. Isn't that the school that Harry Potter goes to? Bullworth Academy?
I don't think so, but
I think it is. Out. I don't know. I think it is.
Let's see.
The answer, which video game is set at Bullworth Academy? The answer is Bully.
Okay.
A video game named Bully, Bully. What the frick is this?
That was a Rockstar game.
Is that right?
Yes. I never played it myself, but that was a Rockstar game that got a lot of attention back when I was first in games.
You are correct.
Like 2008, 2009, maybe?
You're close. It's PlayStation 2 and Wii and Xbox 360, October 2006.
Oh, so it was actually right before. But yeah, it got a lot of people talked about it. I think maybe because it was very violent. Maybe?
Okay. Bully.
But
released in the PAL region, which is Europe, as Canis Canem Edit, which is Latin for dog eat dog.
Wow.
Is a 2006 action-adventure video game developed by Rockstar Vancouver and published by Rockstar Games. Set in the fictional town of Bullworth, a single-player story follows juvenile delinquent Jimmy Hopkins, he is involuntarily enrolled at Bullworth Academy boarding school for a year and puts his efforts to rise through the ranks of the school system to stop bullying. That's the mission of the game, to stop bullying.
That sounds about right. And now you can play it as an app on Google Play.
I've literally never heard of this.
Really? Yeah.
Yep.
I wonder if maybe the reason I remember it was because Rockstar was really... like, I don't want to say they were in the very beginning, but they were like well into their swing of like GTA being like a franchise of legend, basically.
Yep.
Like, I think a few years before that had been when Vice City came out.
Yeah.
And that was a big to do. And then
police sirens or ambulances passing by. So as if I live in fucking Midtown Manhattan over here. It's just like The minute we opened our windows, it was like 400 leaf blowers, 18 sirens, airplanes. I'm like, come on, man.
I
Can I
know.
have
Can't you
air
just go home and be
and
quiet?
calmness at the same time?
I mean,
Sorry,
apparently
continue.
not. But yeah. So yes, this was a big deal at the time because it was an original IP from Rockstar
Right.
who were known so well at that point for GTA,
And it wasn't GTA. Yeah.
and it wasn't GTA. So yes, I remember it. It was very talked about. I was never attracted to playing it personally, hence why I
And
don't remember
this,
the Academy.
based on what I'm seeing, this came and went and did not become a franchise or
It
any
didn't.
sequels. It
It
just
didn't. It was just a standalone game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they never made it into a franchise, which makes me wonder if maybe it sold moderately, but not well enough to
I'm going to
necessarily encourage
see
franchising, franchism.
franchilization. Generally favorable reviews from critics, according
Yeah, it was
to
well
Metacritic.
reviewed. I remember that.
There was a remaster in 2008, for what it's worth.
Huh. Okay.
I don't know about sales. Okay, controversy, censorship, as you said.
Yeah.
It was a game about kids, but then it was violent, so people were upset about that. Okay, canceled sequel.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
November 2006, so a month later, managing director of research at some consultancy predicted that Bully would not sell well enough over the holidays to warrant a sequel. When his prediction turned out to be untrue, he apologized. Okay, who cares? I don't know what this is relevant.
You're like, fuck you people.
Yeah, I don't see any clear information about it did well or not. But anyway.
Anyway,
well,
there you have it. Today we learned.
And the magic of a random deck has pushed us into a quick news segment, which we were not intending to do, but we're talking Rockstar, we're talking GTA. GTA 6 is on the horizon. It's probably the most anticipated video game in the history of the medium.
Yep.
Give or take a Mario or two. But Rockstar was hacked a while ago, maybe some months ago, right? And just recently, this week, whoever got this information released some business data. And if it is to be believed, and it has been reported out in multiple credible video game websites, probably yours as well,
Probably
your
the one I
employers
work
as well.
At.
There was a bunch of financial data around what these games make, and it was shown that GTA 5 Online, the online mode that is as strong as ever, generates $1 million a day for Rockstar in revenue.
I think because I am so generally uninterested in GTA, and then B, by extension, just completely uninterested in GTA Online, that blows my mind.
Well, GTA
Online started a while ago. Did it not?
This is 10 years old now at this point. What I would love to know, I can't tell if this is blowing my mind or not. I know that GTA 5 Online is massive. So the fact that it is a cash cow is not surprising to me. What I would like to know is how much money does Fortnite make in a day? How much money does Minecraft make in a day?
Probably an enormous amount.
Yeah. And then you could also look at Roblox, and that's a whole other can of worms, but I don't know if this number is big or small. And I don't know if it's big or small in proportion to its user base or in proportion to the amount of human salaries that it takes to keep GTA 5 Online operating. You know what I mean? Especially in the wake of hey, Epic just laid off 1,000 employees because Fortnite isn't doing as well as it used to. And then so it's well, so how much if Fortnite makes $5 million a day, but it's burning through cash because they're just doing licensing and updates and whatever, that's very curious to me.
I feel like this is the kind of story, not to say it's there because it might not be, I'm looking, but that gamesindustry.biz would do like a great job with, like if they were talking about it, which at a glance I don't see that they are, but like that's a really good point, because like it sounds like a lot. By the way, the game launched in 2013, so it is now 13 years old.
More than a decade.
For a 13-year-old game to be making that much a day, that is wild to me. That is wild.
So, I think Epic is a public company, right?
Epic is a public company.
Okay, so based on the AI summary on Google.com, and also all the reference points in search results that are like this analyst and this business site. So I don't know if any of what I'm about to say is actually accurate, but the general web search back of the napkin consensus on how much does Fortnite make a day? 2.7 million per day. Now,
GTA is making 1 million a day.
So despite the recent downturn, like Fortnite remains one of the most popular and recognizable games on the market today, perhaps in all of recent history. And that makes 2.7 if that data is to be believed. So the fact that GTA 5 Online, which is sort of like an add-on to a popular game from 13 years ago, is in the conversation with Fortnite and Minecraft is remarkable, right?
I'm looking up the most profitable games of 2025 because now I really want to know.
Profit is different from revenue, as you well know.
That's true.
So again, according to very loose summary here from Google searching, right, Minecraft, based on 2024-2025 data, Minecraft generates between 600,000 and 1 million per day, which is low. Seems low.
According to what I'm looking at, Honor of Kings, which is a mobile game that I've heard of, earned $1.6 billion in revenue in 2025.
See, and this is where
Roblox earned 1.5 billion. Gross revenue.
Yes, I'm seeing. Well, okay, but hold on. You're looking at yearly, right?
Yeah.
Roblox.
Yeah, we're not talking about daily.
Roblox generates almost $10 million a day in revenue.
Okay, I found an actual game dev like from a reputable source report.
Yeah.
So I'll have to look at this later. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is Roblox was a leading game by dollar sales in the US retail across the full year. Roblox. Boy.
Roblox is fucking terrifying. The biggest and most popular and lauded and sophisticated, award-winning, critical darling game, like everything we talk about here is spit in the ocean of what Roblox, of the audience sizes that Roblox commands. And it's so fucking sad. It's so demoralizing that kids would rather play shitty games made by other kids that extort them for money than actual games made by game developers. Speaking of life, a spider is on my microphone arm now, so that's fun.
Wow, you open those windows and you really are experiencing a whole slate of new things.
So
is this nature?
Nature. Oh my God, nature's in the house. Burn it to the
ground.
Anyway, Roblox sucks, and don't let your kids play Roblox, please. Every time Roblox executives talk, it makes me so much angrier than I was the day before.
I try not to really pay attention to be honest. And since I'm not interested in it personally, that's not hard because
No, that's fine.
ADHD does that. But I mean, I've definitely been aware that it is an enormous moneymaker. I don't think I was really truly aware how many people were playing it.
It's mind-boggling. The CEO of Roblox did an interview with the New York one of the New York Times podcasts, one of the tech podcasts, and the Times reporter was like, "You really have a problem with predators. Like, what are you doing? Like, can't we just turn the chat features off? Like, how what are you putting in place to protect kids, the millions and billions of kids who are using this platform?" And his answer was, well, we see this as an opportunity. He said, the question was, what are you doing about pedophiles on your platform? And his response was, well, we see this as an opportunity. And then when asked, like, so what are you doing about moderation? He said, basically, and you please, listeners, you can go and read or listen to this interview because your head will explode. He basically said, well, we're just too big. Like, there's no way to do it. So maybe we can use AI to do it. And that was the end of the interview. And he got really upset because the Times reporter was like, but seriously, how are we going to fix this? And he's like, we're just too big to do it. It's like a scale problem. It's just like, it's very hard. And I was like, every child on planet Earth is touching your product, and you're like, we don't really give a shit about safety.
That makes sense.
And then
that tracks with people who are making billions of dollars. It does. It tracks.
Sure does. And then I believe just this week, I swear we were not going to talk about news, but now I'm fired up. I swear to fucking God, I'll put this in the show notes. This week or last week, Roblox made an announcement. They were like, hey, everyone, we've rolled out child accounts. And every fucking person on the internet was like, wait, they don't have that yet? They're just rolling out child accounts with child safety features on Roblox, the #1 app and game on planet fucking Earth for all children everywhere. In May 2026, you're like, hey, what if we had child accounts?
I'm getting all these ads right now on Facebook for teen accounts, like constant
yes, oh my
ads.
God, constantly.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, same thing. Like, how did it take y'all that long to come up with teen accounts?
Because they got sued. Meta and Google, I don't know if they were suing YouTube specifically or Google/Alphabet, but they lost 2 very important lawsuits. I don't know if they were class action or if they were single plaintiff, but anyway.
I feel like the one against Meta was class action because I remember reading about that. It was like a week ago.
It's very recent.
Very recent.
But there are like, I know this because I've been giving talks about it. There are like 2,000 cases pending against social media companies alleging mental health harm to kids. And 2 of them were just decided. And it hopefully opens the door to be like, oh yeah, you are this very high court, or maybe it's a state Supreme Court, is like, yeah, you are liable for the damage you have caused to young women and girls, and whatever amount they're supposed to pay in these particular suits is basically $0 compared to what they make every fucking second. But I think the hope here is that this legal precedent allows many, many, many other school districts and parents and wronged classes to sue the fuck out of these companies and get restitution because their fucking kids are, no longer with us or in hospitals because of this shit. Anyway.
Said it before, say it again. I hate this timeline.
If you open up the internet and everything sucks, which it mostly does, at least we can say we won one. This week, last week, whenever it was.
Yeah. You were right.
All right. Enough about this. Man, trivia is still 0-0 or 1-0, 1-0. We're never going to get out of this.
We know less than we thought, but that's okay.
You are playing you're playing 2 games, one I know and one I'm like, "Oh yeah, I got to hear about this."
So I am playing in my continual Resident Evil series playthrough.
Yes.
I'm barreling now through Resident Evil 3. I played Resident Evil 2 twice because after completing the first playthrough as Leon Kennedy, you get the option to play. Well, you, like in many Resident Evils, you will play as 2 characters. Sometimes you can choose, and sometimes you just, it goes back and forth between them, like for you. But I was going to skip it, and then Sky Bergson was like, "Do not." You were
going to skip. You were going to skip 3.
I was going to skip the second playthrough.
Oh, the second playthrough. I'm sorry. Yes.
He was like, very important story in that playthrough. Maybe do not skip.
Mm-hmm.
And I played it, and even though I liked it a lot, but I didn't want to play it. I just kind of kept wanting to go forward. Right. He's like, "No, you should," and I'm glad I did. And it went faster, because it's a new game plus. So
yeah. Okay.
Glad I did. Don't have the experience of the original to compare it to, but some very moving storytelling was added that actually got tears in my eyes at least once. Nice. I was like, wow, that's really, wow. Okay. So now I'm in 3.
Based on our discussions and the general vibes of these games, I guess I expected more this to be mostly gore and camp and less rich emotional storytelling. You know what I mean?
I think they added that in the remakes because I mentioned a scene, which I will not spoil just in case someone hasn't played it or whatever, but I mentioned a specific scene to Patrick and he was like, "Oh no, that wasn't in the original game."
Right,
so I think that they did some kind of cinema inspired kind of updates that definitely, I think, not to say it would have been a bad game without it, but it's very nice with it. I think it makes it feel richer.
It is. This stuff is. I'm not saying anything new here, but it's making me think about a creative, a game director has a vision for a game in 1998 or whatever, and they do the best they can with the tools available. But and it is a great game, but it's not. It may not represent the full scope of what they wanted to do, and then the 2000s and the 2010s and 2020s come around, and now we have the tools, and now you can turn Final Fantasy VII into this epic cinematic thing that adds character and depth and story and richness, and same with these remakes. And I think it's interesting and cool, and it makes me suddenly think of, remember when everyone got mad at George Lucas because he added CGI TIE fighters into Star Wars, and we all were like, how could you, this is not the original version, this is a new version, it's bad. But also you could say well, we did the best we could in 1977 to make spaceships, but now we can really make some fucking spaceships.
Well, yeah, and can you really blame a person who did the best with what they could at that time, but then has the opportunity later to use cool new tools to make it better?
Right.
I can't. I don't have to like what he did.
Right.
I mean, I recall at the time I actually did like the changes, but yeah,
they're mostly. I think that, well, I think people are mad also, not to get into the Star Wars zone, but if the originals were available to stream or purchase and we could look at them and compare them to the new ones, I think that would satisfy the sort of archival museum sort of history of it. And then but then fire it up with the kids and you can see all the fancier spaceships but the fact that they are not available is probably annoys people, but I digress.
Yeah.
And to that point, you can play Final Fantasy VII Original on Steam, and you can play the remake, and you can compare and contrast them if you love that game.
And you can do that with most of those classic games. So yeah, I mean, the option is totally there. But so anyway, as you may have guessed from some of our prior conversations, Resident Evil can be a little dark and a little intense, especially when you start to get into, there's a character that you meet into, and then that starts to kind of carry over It's not the exact same character, but the vibe is similar. Into 3, where you're being chased a lot by a character you can't kill. And that can sometimes like sometimes I'll be like, I just don't want to be chased tonight, and then pounded into smithereens, And so I was like, it'd be nice to have something kind of, to play when I'm not in the mood for that, right? Like when I need a little Resident Evil break. So, as you guys know, because I talk about this all the time on the podcast, I do love playing demos, and I saw a cute little demo for a game called Kulo Niku Bowl Up. It is a cute little indie that is currently $9.59.
KULO
Kulo
NIKU.
Niku. It is the best way for me to describe it after playing, I would say maybe 4 hours of it so far, is that it is like if someone took a fun cooking sim and Persona, like the dating part, and like smooshed it together.
That I don't fully understand what you mean by this. But
I'll explain.
Just based on looking at it. So I did not expect the word Persona to come up in the discussion of this game. I don't get it yet.
I didn't expect to say it, but I kind of think what they did is neat, at least so far as I've come. So the cooking sim / I guess a little bit farming cliche is that, you inherit your grandmother's restaurant, and she was famous for these meatball bowls, and now you're going to learn to make them in her stead, right? And so you inherit this neighborhood along with all that. And so Asian people clearly made this game because the seasonings, the sauces are very Asian, like vinegar and pickled, like pickled bok choy and stuff like that. I love it because we eat that food in this house, but it's really cool, if that's something that you're used to. So I'm like, okay, it's cozy, it's cute, and you get to do things like, of course you make food, right? So the customers in the neighborhood that remember your grandmother's food, they come in and they want to talk to you.
That's cute.
So you have your little setup in the back, and the mechanic is basically like, okay, you've got your bowls, you've got your seasonings, you've got your hot pot where you like boil your noodles and all that stuff. And then you have to do your dishes. Yeah. So you're like, okay, I'm going to like put the noodles in. I'm going to just go do the dishes, and I'm going to bring my bowl back, and then I'm going to do the thing. And then each customer will be like, I like it sour, or I like it super spicy, or I like it with chopsticks, or I like fork, or, whatever. Right. And
I will just make a note for audio listeners. I'll be showing the trailer here, but this is in the first person mostly. It's not like a Stardew where you're moving around the shop, or it's not like Played Up or Overcooked, right?
No, it is first person. And although you will have scenes where you will see yourself, usually like dialogue scenes and stuff, you are mostly in the first person. Yeah. I played it with a controller connected to the PC. It was fine. Like the controls are fine that way, but I wonder if it's maybe designed to be played mouse and keys. I don't know.
Interesting.
It's comfortable. Like when you're in your kitchen and you go between your different areas, you can kind of use your shoulder buttons to move. So it's, it's pretty smooth.
It has full support and is Steam Deck verified in case that's relevant to anyone.
All of those things. Patrick is playing it on Steam Deck right now, and he seemed like he was getting along fine. So you can definitely play it there. And then this is all in the demo, but as you keep playing, then you unlock a couple of new things. One is I think it's called Meatball Brawl, but I think it should have been called Meat Brawl.
Yeah.
Yes.
No doubt.
Where you will go up against other chefs and cook using like a certain set of guidelines. So there'll be a judge, and you have to please the judge, and then there'll be a crowd, and you have to please the crowd, and you'll cook against somebody else. And as you do that, you're kind of going up in this ranking in the town, right? So that's one thing you do. Then, and I thought this was kind of cool, the first opportunity I had to like hang out with somebody, it was like, do you want to hang out with person? And I was like, oh, that's kind of a Persona thing, because in Persona 3 and up, so 3, 4, 5, not the ones before that, you have free time. So it'll be like, oh, I go to school now, and then I'm off school, and then on this day I'm free from 3 o'clock until sleep time.
Yep.
and you get to choose what you're going to do. So this is like a small scale version of that. So after you get far enough in the demo, it'll be like, you know, what would you like to do now? Do you want to go to the shop and buy something and then like, you know, buy like wallpaper for your restaurant or something, or ingredients or whatnot? Do you want to make it look nicer? Or do you want to go see this person and spend time with them? I do not know if it is actually dating, because in Persona, you have to get all the way. So it's like a 10 level rank. You have to get all the way to the top to get someone to want to date you.
Yes.
At a
that's
glance,
the Stardew social system as well.
Exactly. Same thing. I don't know. At a glance, I don't see on the Steam page any wordage that's about like, there's like a one section that says meet the folks of Kulu Niku, and it says raise your friendship level with a cast of companions. So I think maybe you're just making friends.
Yeah, it's cute.
And maybe when people trust you more, they tell you more things or you unlock things. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, I would be curious what the mechanics are with the social friendship stuff. But yeah,
I'll report back as I get there. But it doesn't. The game's page doesn't come across making it sound like it's romantic. So those are the things that I'm balancing so far at the point that I've played to. It is fun.
I love the character
wholesome.
art style.
Like the character art style is super cute. It's like classic anime pretty. Kind of vibe. It's well drawn.
Very polygonal is not exactly right, but it's low poly, I guess. Low poly anime, and it works great. I really like it.
I think it's really cute. I think that the look definitely drew me to it. Now, one thing I will say is that you have an option in the beginning to either do the orders timed. So you are like your tip and all that.
That's what I was wondering, if it is like a, is it like a frenetic, like fast challenge game, or is it a slow, chill, like...
It can be a challenge game, but you also have the option to turn that off at the beginning of the game.
All right, cool.
And probably after you've made that choice, honestly. Like, I haven't tried to do it mid game yet, but you have that option, which is nice. So if you're stressed out by trying to get things to people before they get pissed off and it, affects the restaurant's rating, then you don't have to do that.
Yep. Cool.
So that's a nice little touch. It is very fun, very cheery, very happy. I have enjoyed playing it. Patrick is further than me, and he did say that the orders get much more complicated.
Okay.
So I'm interested to see what it's like and if it's still fun at that point, but we'll see.
Meatball Brawl? It should be Meat
Brawl. Meat Brawl. Come on.
0 out of 10. Honestly, that's my review.
I mean, to miss that opportunity, it's just... It's a missed opportunity.
This is a studio called Gambier Studio, but published by Raw Fury. They do great stuff. They publish great stuff.
Ooh, you know what? A couple of the reviewers mentioned Cooking Mama, and that's actually probably a really good comparison. I mean, I haven't played Cooking Mama in over 15 years, but it does feel a little like the kind of going to the different stations and prepping and stuff like that. It does have a kind of nostalgic feeling of like what Cooking Mama felt like at that time for the DS.
They have a very interesting background. No big hits. Something called Knight versus Giant, which is a roguelike, and then they have a horror exploration hidden object game. And now they have this one, which seems to be the big, not like a huge mega hit, but like
they're getting overwhelmingly positive reviews. So I mean,
very positive.
But yeah, it does look like they've experimented with some different types of games, which is interesting. But this has a really striking look, so I think that probably helps attract people.
I agree. This is great.
So anyway.
You're playing the full game. You're not. It's not just demo. You're going.
I finished the demo and then I bought the game because I honestly felt like it was well worth the price.
Good.
In fact, I think I bought it on Fanatical and I used my employee discount, so I got it for like $6.
God damn, cheating.
We should have a conversation about that offline about Fanatical. Well, not offline. Yeah, that's not possible.
But it's less than $10.
It's a very inexpensive
with the Steam
game
sale going on. So
Yeah, very inexpensive game, and a lot of fun, to play. Really have enjoyed it, and it is so completely different from something like Resident Evil, which is nice, right? Because you just I personally find that sometimes when I sometimes when I play a very dark game, sometimes I just like to have something to contrast it when I'm in the mood to play
Palate
something
cleanser.
else.
Yeah.
It's a palate cleanser. That's exactly what it is. So
On my Steam page of this game, it says, "Is this game relevant to you? This game doesn't look like other things you've played in the past. As such, we don't have much information on whether or not you might be interested in it." And then below that, it has Patrick and you being like, "Yep, we're here. We like it."
yes, that also happens to me, by the way, with many of the games that you will be like, I'm playing this, and I'll open it up, and it will be like, I do not think that you play these kinds of games, and you're like, okay, yeah, you're right.
Steam is
you're
like,
right.
"Are you sure you're on the right page here? Because I don't know about this. Have you seen your playtime?"
Oh, it's funny. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I got for this week. I know what you
Excellent.
got, and quickly before you start talking about your game, I just
Yes,
want to
yes.
say that I was at work yesterday or the day before, probably Monday, and someone, our editor, was like, "So, like, who's going to play Winrose?" And I'm like, "Winrose," and I clicked it, and I went and looked at the Steam page, and I was like, "I think my buddy Matt Silverman's going to play this game."
Were they saying like who here in the on the team is going to start playing this to write about it?
Anybody planning to play Winrose
Yeah.
is, I think, what the post was. And I was like, Winrose, that looks kind of like a Matt game. And then I
Oh,
clicked in and I was like,
baby,
oh boy,
baby.
is that a Matt game? It looks like a big Matt game, but it sounds like you're clicking with it.
Oh my God! Speaking of games you'll never play and our Steam won't think are for you. This is a game that used to be called Crosswind. So
Oh,
I guess nowadays I only play games that changed their name mid development. Jump Ship changed to Jump Space, and Crosswind is now Windrose.
okay.
I don't know why. There's probably legal or trademark reasons for these. Who the fuck knows? This I've been following the development of this game, and in the Discord and the subreddit and whatnot. You know, when you see a little teaser of a game, you're like, I don't know what this is, but I have to know when this happens, right? This is one of those for me because it is a survival crafting game, but it's a pirate setting, and so you are doing the usual like, okay, I need wood and stone to make a base and blah blah blah, but then beyond that, you are then building a ship to sail to other islands. And you are also, and I'm not even close to this area of it yet, but you are engaging in full scale naval ship to ship combat with other NPC ships a la Sea of Thieves. Now, this I believe this game might have started as like an MMO or like a PvP multiplayer game like Sea of Thieves, and they pretty quickly shifted to a single player survival game. And I think
Huh.
that's working very, very well. So there is no PvP in the game at all. There is no risk of other players coming in and getting you. Which is the main, I think, is a core draw of Sea of Thieves. So I guess to put this in perspective, you know, Sea of Thieves is like I am trying to accomplish various goals for various factions in a live multiplayer environment, and that is exciting and dangerous. And it is a live service game that has seasons and content and battle passes and whatever. And I love it. I love Sea of Thieves. And this is has the pirate and ship stuff, but it is like Valheim for but pirates. You know what I mean? Where it's like you're a guy or a gal and you're in this world and you are scraping twigs together to survive. and eventually through building and crafting and cooking and weapon upgrading and skill upgrading, you will eventually be a cool dude sailing a ship, blowing other ships out of the water because you are eventually powerful. And
Okay.
I don't have one of these games in my life right now. I've been craving it. Enshrouded is also really excellent, but I keep bouncing in and out of it. I also love Valheim, but I never like got hardcore with any of it.
Mm-hmm.
And there is just, I've said it many times, there is just something about being an individual character who then gets on a boat or a spaceship and has to travel vast distances, often at great peril to themselves or their cargo. That is so exciting and fun for me. And this definitely is that game. So, couple things. One, it's beautiful. It's an Unreal Engine game. It's set in the Caribbean, so everything is tropical and lush, and it's beautiful beaches and sunsets and waves and sand and coconuts, and it's a very pretty game. And I just want to be on a tropical island, and now I can be on a tropical island all the time. It's great. Uh, Two, it does survival really really well. Quality of life is through the roof. It's so and it doesn't sacrifice challenge. So when you start, you're very very vulnerable, and it's really just wildlife. You're shipwrecked. There's some story. Who fucking cares? It's not. They don't. Their presentation of story is not good, but I think it's early access. So I will say that it is an early access release, I think.
Okay.
Um, so who cares? The premise is you are a pirate. You were attacked by someone on the high seas where you do a little tutorial, and then you are shipwrecked, and then you realize that you're not the only survivor. And so I believe the premise of the game is, can you make it to the other islands to find and rescue your missing crew? And
Okay.
that's cool. And the map is procedurally generated. So obviously, it's like you start in a starter island, and it probably has certain enemies and crafting materials that are native to the starter island. But my starter island does not look like my son's starter island. He's also all about this game. He's really into it.
Okay. Cool.
And now that he has his Steam Deck, he can start his own world and character, and it's great.
Man, I wish my parents bought me a Steam Deck when I was 10 years old. Shit.
You're like, time travel to the future.
Dad
Get
of the
me a
Year
Steam
award,
Deck.
man. This is so pretty though. Like I don't know if you can, I'm sure the viewers are like, what is she looking at? I'm looking at screenshots and footage and stuff, because I really like to do that while you're talking about a game that I haven't played.
Yeah, same. I was looking at yours as well, but
Yeah.
and I'll hopefully be showing it on screen if you're watching the video version. But what was I going to say? Oh, we're not really Dad of the Year for buying a Steam Deck because it was his 10th birthday, and we needed something. We needed a big gift that could kind of level up his maturity level. That was not a phone. It's like there is an iPad that he has access to, and he can, utilize that for watching Netflix and whatnot. And then it was like, are we just going to buy him like a bunch of Nerf guns and art supplies, or are we going to like go big? And it was like, we could hem and haw about what the heck to get this kid for weeks and go nuts, or we could spend a little bit more money and just get something. And the value my wife was like, well, like, like, what if we got him a PS5? And I'm like, yeah, but like, I own 200 games on Steam. And so you buy a PS5 and he's going to be like, cool, can I play all these games I already know? And I'm going to be like,
no.
I guess I'll re-buy them on another account. I'm like, wait a minute.
No. He can do that with a Steam Deck. And
just
then when the other
Deck.
Steam stuff comes out, he can play those
exactly
on
right.
big TV, hopefully.
Shout out to Steam. We love them. Family sharing is awesome. It's so great. It's a great system, and we are getting tons of value. So by paying a bit more for a lightly used Steam Deck, Steam Decks are not available. They're out of stock.
Yeah.
I got a really good deal on a pristine Steam Deck that also had a very large SD card already in it.
Ooh,
And it was
yay.
like, okay, by the time I cobble this together and search around eBay or whatever, it's like, this is a very good value. So we just went for it. Anyway,
That's great.
and this game runs pretty well on Steam Deck. You know, low settings, 30 frames. You're going to have a decent time.
Yep.
Anyway, it feels great to play. So you are vulnerable, but also you're not wasting time dicking around in your inventory because you can build barrels and chests and stuff, and you can kind of just walk by them and just hold X, and anything that's in your inventory that is also in, like if you have a bunch of wood in your inventory and there's wood in the barrel, you're just like hold X and it just dumps it in. And then
Okay.
you place a bonfire down, and that is the central hub of your base, and anything that is within that base is accessible, meaning if I have a chest all the way over there on the beach and I've got a workbench all the way over here in a hut, I just open the workbench and anything in that chest is craftable, is
Oh,
usable
that's so
for,
nice.
and it's just nice. And what I thought at first was like, oh, this kind of like simplifies the like I'm in the wilderness kind of vibe, you know, when I was like, okay, is this gonna work? And what I would say is like there is so much to do and so much exploration and so much challenge in the game itself that they made the right call to really smooth out all of the crafting inventory stuff. It is well done. You can also, when you get a boat, which is not too far along in your play through, you can summon it at any time, and you can build fast travel points that cost a bit of resources. But basically, like I can teleport my boat anywhere on the ocean when I want it from the beach, right? And I can sail to a new island. And if I have the resources, I can then plop a fast travel point on the new island and then warp between any other fast travel point that I've created. And again,
Also really nice quality
it's
of life right
nice.
there.
And if the game was like, oh, this is like a 20-hour game with 3 islands, I'd be like, oh man, like I want to explore. I can just warp back and forth. That kind of cheeses it. But there are actually 30 different islands on the procedural map in the current early access version. And there is a lot of sailing to do. So exploration is deeply rewarded. And that's the other thing that I wanted to mention is like you can kill a bunch of dodo birds and boars and zombie drowned as much as you want, but you don't get experience points from like killing and building. You get experience points from finding new areas and islands and looting them for treasure or resources. So when you encounter a cave on a map, the cave is like, hey, you made it. You get 20 experience points, and also 0 out of 3. There are 3 hidden things in this cave, and if you find them all, you get the resources, and also you gain experience points. So it kind of puts these markers on the map, and what starts to happen is like, oh, I have 2 more things to find in this cave, but holy shit, the enemies in this cave are really fucking hard. I stand no chance. So I go back to my base and I need to level up my armor. I need to level up my skills or whatever I'm doing in order to tackle that challenge. And in that regard, it's like, oh, I have a clear goal set before me, in addition to the kind of story quests that are to find your crew and whatever. And these goals are very, very challenging. So I need to do a lot of work to meet that challenge. And guess what? While I'm doing that work, I can just dump things in a chest and it's super chill back here at the base. It's all this quality of life stuff that makes it
Nice.
Takes the tedium out of that.
Question I'm curious about. Do you start the game with a map that has like filled in locations, or as you explore, do you end up unlocking parts of the map?
Fog of War, the map is completely
nice,
grayed out.
Invisible. Okay, that makes sense. Because I was like, well, if you're adventuring and discovering, I wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't want to open it.
100%. Yeah. So it is that nice balance of like, you have to, if you want to progress, you have to explore, and you don't know what's out there. But as you explore, the map is like, oh yeah, this is a cave with 3 treasures. Come back when you're ready. oh, this
Okay.
is a mine that has copper, and you're going to have to dig in there to really get this resource. So you bring a pickaxe when you come back
Does
here.
it tell you that before you get there?
Uh, I think if you look on the map, it says this is a copper mine or something. But you have to physically encounter these points of interest in order
Okay.
for that to populate on the map, if that makes sense.
Interesting. So instead of forcing you to actually go into each place and look for yourself, it will give you at least a preview so you can make a decision. That's actually
Yes.
smart quality of
It,
life
it's
too.
it's nice. It really I didn't really know if I loved it at first. And oh, and also there is something in the settings called immersive exploration where it will turn points of interest completely off. So you have to manually go and find these places and then mark them yourself
Hmm.
so that you can get back to them. And that's cool. I'm not doing that mode necessarily, but it's nice. It's a cool feature.
Hmm.
The other thing that kind of slaps you right in the face is that the combat takes a little getting used to and is not the it's not tutorialized super well. I kind of perceived it as a like a hack and slash where you get a sword and you get a pistol, and then you're washed up on, you get a little combat tutorial on the ship, and then you're washed up on the desert island and you still have your sword and pistol, and so you're kind of like, all right, I guess I'll explore. And a dodo bird comes out of the wilderness and pecks you twice and you're dead, and you're like, but
What?
I sliced him with my sword like really really fast, and I'm like can't fucking kill a bird. And I'm like, what the fuck is this combat? And what it actually is not like wham, bam, bam. It's actually Souls like combat where you click the right stick to target your enemy. And then you have to do this push and pull of blocking, dodging, stamina, which is your stamina for running and swinging your weapon. But you also have you have little shields for blocking, so you can block any incoming attack, but as you block you lose those like shield pips, and then the enemy can start breaking through your block. So what it starts to be is this push pull dance of like enemy lock on target, okay, and block and parry and swing swing swing, okay, dodge, and my stamina's low, recover recover recover, and swing swing swing, okay, got it, it's dead. And it is, I think a hardcore Souls player would be like, well, there's more to it than that. But like, it is that sort of like you are kiting around your enemy and managing stamina and managing your weapons, like sort of abilities in order to very tactically take this down. Because if you mess up, you're dead. When you die, you drop the items in your inventory, but not in your hotbar. So anything that's important, like your weapons and your bandages or whatever, you hang on to, and then you
Okay.
just go back on a corpse run and you get it. And even
Sure.
when you die multiple times, your items are still available. So again, very combat and exploration, very challenging. Death and loss, super forgiving. So you kind of just like be like, ah, fuck, dead. And you get right back out there. You get your shit that you dropped. The enemy that you were fighting is down to half health, and you
Hmm.
slice up that little crabby guy or that boar, and you get back to your business. And it's cool. And then you encounter other more challenging enemies, and it's like, whoa, I have no chance. I need to get better weapons or armor or whatever it is.
Hmm.
And
Cool.
and so it is then structured as you're exploring your survival crafting, you're leveling up gear, blah blah blah. But there are boss battles, like there are boss encounters out on other islands that are probably guarding like upgrades, ship parts. They're probably guarding members of your crew that you need to rescue. And so I perceive that once you beat these boss fights, you are then bringing the crew member back to your base. And now you have a doctor, or you have a chef, or you have a gunner or something. And those people, those crewmates, are going to start contributing to your base by leveling things up or gathering resources or manning your ship when you get the ship. I have a dinghy, I have a little boat that I can float out into the water and get to other islands, but I am not ready for ship combat yet. And that
Okay.
seems very far away.
Huh.
Um,
Okay. Interesting. I'm curious since this is an early access too. Like I'm looking at the early access panel on the listing. and it says, which I'm sure you've already seen, that they'll be once it's fully launched, there'll be about 50% more content.
It's
So
wild.
that's a lot of content. And I mean,
Yeah.
also it says that they plan to increase the price of the game when it comes out, when the full version comes out, which is also
It's like
interesting. It's
$25, $27.
$27 right now. The full price is $30. It just came out, so it's got that little just came
Right.
out discount.
Yeah.
But I'm curious also if you liked it so much that you decided to join the Discord and like keep an eye on its growth.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
so I have been following it because the idea of Sea of Thieves and Valheim having a baby was super, super appealing to me. So I was super, super jazzed about it. They released a demo during Next Fest, and I was like, oh my God, I can finally play this game that I've been waiting for. And the controller support was so bad. It was so poorly implemented. Like the controller, it was like, all right, great, you're using a controller. And it kept flicking in the menus between mouse and keyboard and controller. And I was like, I can't even make my character because the game is like freaking out with a controller. I was like, all right, I'm just going to wait. The game currently has full controller support, which I'm doing air quotes if you're watching the video version, because they are still working on implementing support for the menus. So it has that annoying, like, hey, I'm crafting this shit. I got to like use the stick to move a mouse cursor over the wood and click the button to like put it into the workbench or whatever. And that is annoying, and they are working on that, and I will forgive them because the rest of the game is fully I'm having a very comfortable experience playing on controller. I'm looking forward to when they fully lock that down. But in case that informs anyone's early access purchasing decision.
Okay.
I would not be sitting here talking to you about it if I could not enjoy this game on my couch. So take that as you will.
Sure.
It has full co-op, so if you want to play through this survival campaign with probably a crew of up to 4, I imagine it's at least 2, maybe more, in this Valheim style of like, okay, I've generated a world. Your character can join my world, and we can build a base and build ships together and see what's out there. But again, there is no PvP. There are no other players out in the world looking to get you. And
cool.
and so I guess the conclusion here is like once I realized that the combat was Souls combat and not hack and slash Hades combat or whatever you want to call it, that's when it really clicked, and I was like, all right, I gotta learn my weapon style. I gotta be aware of enemy movements and tells. I need to learn how to parry, which I'm getting the hang of. Unlike some other games,
you'll parry for the right games.
The parry window is very forgiving in this game, so it's fine. Or I will say, if you miss the parry but you're still blocking, you take no damage. You just absorb the block. You absorb a pip of block. I mean, it's totally different games, but unlike Expedition 33, where it's like if you miss that millisecond parry window, but you're holding the button, there is no block. There is just you're dead. You know what I mean? So there's that difference there. Yeah. But my final thought was like, yeah, once you figure out what the combat is, then you're like, oh, I can handle this game, and I know what I need to work on. And then I'm just listening to podcasts while I build fucking straw huts on a beach.
That's pretty
fun.
And
it rules. That's what I keep mentioning. You get a pistol, and there are other guns you can find or craft, but it is you gotta load the gunpowder in and find some ammunition, and you aim your shot, and you're not aiming down sights. You're actually like, it's a third-person game, so you're like pointing your gun out, your pistol, and you're not shooting from the hip, but you're shooting from far away, and you shoot one bullet, and it's like, okay, I got to reload my powder. I got to reload because it's a pirate gun. It's like a
Right. So
blunderbuss
it's
from the
not, yeah,
1700s. You know what I mean?
right.
So like that, and I don't have the ability to craft gunpowder, so I actually can't use my pistol right now. I think I have to beat a boss to get the recipe for gunpowder. But when you have 5 bullets and a couple of satchels of gunpowder, it's like this shot better hit, otherwise I'm fucked. You know what I mean? It's very strategic, slow combat, and it's good.
Cool.
And the last thing I'll say is the sailing is very simplified. In Sea of Thieves, you have to get on, is a first person game. You have to get on your boat. You have to raise the anchor. You have to pull down your sails, check the wind, see which way the wind is blowing, and set your sails to catch the wind. Then you're on the wheel, slowly cranking the wheel of the ship to slowly turn your ship in the direction that you want to go. And as you're moving, it's like, oh, the wind changed. I'm being chased. I got to move my sails this way. It's real, quote unquote, sailing. This so far is like press X to get in your boat, press A to go faster, and you're just going. And it's really fun. It's nice. I love the sailing in Sea of Thieves. I think it's excellent. But this is kind of just like zoom out. Now you're the boat. You stop being a person, and now you are the boat. And you're moving, but the water and the wind is like tossing you around. So it's like island in the distance, crank your boat up to the max speed and go. But if you walk away, you're going to drift off course. So you have to actually sail and move the boat and push it in the right direction. But the nice thing, again, is like it's so low energy, it's so low touch that you can just set your course and then you use the right stick and you're just like looking around and you're just like, whoa, sunset.
That's nice.
You know,
I mean, I can understand how, from one perspective, a developer might be like, oh, we want to make, like steering a ship very realistic and we want to make it have, a lot of pushback and et cetera. I get that. But I also really get that it would be nice to just enjoy the scenery.
Let me add one more touch point in. It's Wind Waker. So it's Sea of Thieves plus Valheim with the ship sailing and mapness of Wind Waker, meaning the map is not known to you, but as you sort of casually sail your chill little boat across these beautiful waves, you're like, whoa, what's this island? And then you hop off your boat and you're like, whoa, there's a temple here. There's some weird new enemies here. Whoa, what's this? And it has that Wind Waker sailing vibes, and I just think they did everything right with this game. It's going crazy. There's like 60,000 concurrent players. They sold 500,000 copies. It's being streamed by like huge streamers right now. They hit on all cylinders, and I'm glad that they now have the resources to like build this game out, because it's very good if you like these sort of games.
Well, I think that you should do your best to enjoy it for the next 4 or 5 days, because I would just like to remind you that Tuesday the 21st is the release of Vampire Crawlers. Not to say that is going to completely get you off this. Vampire Crawlers is going to be like I'm going to enjoy it for a while and then I'm going to go play something else, I think. You know what I mean? Rather than
maybe not.
I spent 50 hours on Vampire Crawlers. I don't know. Who knows? But I just was reminded because I was looking at Steam and the new releases, or upcoming releases tab was there. I was like, oh my God.
Every game you and I are obsessed with and can't wait for is coming out in April, in the next 2 weeks. Windrose, Vampire Crawlers, Tomodachi Life came out today. We're recording this on Thursday, right? Is today Thursday? Today's Thursday.
Yes.
And there's a handful of others that are on my wish list that are like, get ready. And I'm like, whoa, dude. Mouse PI, the 1930s animation.
Read the IGN review. Not to say IGN is gospel, but you should, because I read other reviews that were pretty generally positive. But I do like sometimes when I read a review that is like, these were sticking points, because it'll give me a real good thought about whether or not I'm ready to invest. I'm interested in it too, but after reading that review, I'm like, do I want that right now?
A good review is like, I love this game for these reasons. And then I read the reasons and the review is a 10 out of 10. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm not going to get that game because the reasons you like it are not the reasons I would enjoy this type of game. And that's cool. That's great.
Exactly.
And vice versa.
Exactly
obviously.
that. So yeah, but I will say, like, usually if I'm really excited about something, I put it on my calendar, but there's lots of little ones that I drop in my wish list and forget. And then it's like, this is out today. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
I know. Yeah.
So
happy little Easter eggs, but also like, no, I'm really busy right now at work and I don't want.
Yeah, like the Fatal Frame 2 remake. That's one of my favorite horror games of all time.
Yeah.
Haven't bought it yet. Haven't played it yet.
I remember,
because I haven't had time. And could I drop my Resident Evil playthrough and get it? I could, but I don't really want to. And I'm also like, well, it's there. It's not going.
It'll be there. It'll be there, and maybe it'll be on sale one day in the future. So
yeah. So I'm like, what can I do, right? Like, we always talk about how we can't keep up with the flood, and it's hard.
Nor should you. We're gonna get out of here because I need to go to. I need to vote at a PTA meeting.
Oh, okay.
At 7:00. So if you think you got things going on, I'm really busy.
You busy.
But thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out with us. Let us know what you're playing. I suspect April is going to be a heavy month for a lot of our listeners. So, tell us what's on your wish list that's popping off in the next couple weeks. And we will talk about that in the Discord. If you are finding this on YouTube or the audio platform that you listen to podcasts on, and you would like to join our conversation, the link to the Discord community is in the show notes and the video description at all times. And from our family to yours, please remember to be kind, resist fascism wherever you find it. Rewind your podcast after listening. And we will talk with you in a week's time.
Bye-bye.